So this year, my driving has been utter... Well, yes, it has been. It's been utter pants. It's actually been pretty bad. So to the point where I've actually been hitting 3-wood for about 3 or 4 months this year. But at some point I had to go, enough is enough. So I actually had a practice session. And guess what? I found the secret to better drives. No, but actually I found 2 things that have really helped me with my driving in the last 6 weeks. And we thought, you know, we have to share this with you. And I think the second one in particular, the second one is one that can really help you with your game. So let's check it out. We'll go to the 4th of the Grand. Pretty tight fairway, but let's go and start the video. So we're on the perfect hole here at the Grand. The 4th hole is 480 yards and there's a bit of fairway, but there's bunkers and then there's hazards either side of the fairway. So it's a pretty tricky driving hole. So this is going to be fun, obviously going through these 2 things that have helped me with my driving, but also I wanted to make sure, look, this channel, today it's about me, but generally it's about you helping with your golf. So if you like what you see, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you get notified of all our videos. Plus, we're in the middle of our Black Friday sale. So if you click the link down in the description, you'll be notified of our 50% off on our coaching plans and our 20% off on our training aids. So make sure you don't miss out on that. Only one day left, only one day left. So Andy, should we go through the first tip first of all?
Yeah, we've got flight scope in play here. We're going to hit a few shots, get some numbers, just pick your brains and just talk about how, you know, what you've discovered by some recent practice and how it can help the guys at home really. And if you've got any questions on this, if you've got any questions about Piers' game or swing or the driver, just leave them in the comments down below.
Or help. Yeah. If you've got any help for me, please post down below.
And we'll get back to as many as we can. But yeah, let's get cracking on the first one then, Piers. What's the first thing that you've discovered?
Just quickly on that before we get into it. Look, it has been pretty rubbish this year. I mean, obviously we haven't played loads of golf, but the golf we have played, the driver hasn't been that good. The 3-wood has definitely been, actually been quite good. So it's like, well, if only the 3-wood could be, sorry, the driver could be as good as the 3-wood. But the first one I did, and it was just I don't even know why I did it. I went practicing and I thought, I'm just going to hover the club. I was doing it with my irons. I was just working at my backswing because the one thing that I tend to struggle with a little bit, we'll look at this front-on view here, is I have a big upper body move off the ball before I even hit the shot. Kind of like a Henrik Stenson, but it doesn't have the same effect as Henrik Stenson, unfortunately. So I will move off the ball quite a bit. And then from there, the tendency is I can get stuck behind the golf ball a little bit. And that's when I get this club coming in like this and I get this big high right or I can hit it left. 2 shots that you obviously don't want. So by hovering the club, it kind of does 2 things. The first thing is it allows me to stay a little bit more centered in my pivot. So my pivot will be a bit more centered. Now by that, you can still see I am still loading my trail side. I'm not like leaning to the left or anything like that. It just is that I'm moving less off the ball when I swing back. The second thing, if you look down the line, imagine if I were to hover it up here. Not that I've done it this exaggerated, but from here as I do this, it's going to shallow out my golf swing. So one of the issues I've got with my golf swing at the moment is that the shaft on the way down likes to come down quite steep. So actually by hovering the club, it can shallow out the swing a little bit. So it kind of has a good thing for the pivot, but also it can shallow things out as well.
Okay, well let's hit a few shots.
Should we hit a few, yeah?
And I'm going to give you a challenge.
Well, the fairway will be good enough, I think.
You're not allowed to miss. You're not allowed to hit it in the hazard.
Okay.
That's your challenge, to not hit it in the hazard.
That's good.
It's a good challenge.
Good luck with that one.
Bunker's okay.
This is good. This is what we need. We need to be able to put it to a test.
Put a bit of pressure on it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So you'll notice the hover.
Let's have a little closer look at the hover. I'll get down and have a little look at the hover.
Kind of like to have a little bit of a practice of the move away. You'll notice when I'm doing this, it's very connected. I'll find sometimes when it's on the ground and I move off, then to lose a bit of connection in the arms as well. There you go, that's a fairway finder.
It's nice,
yeah. A little bit lower on the face.
But yeah, I mean, that's literally smack on the target, that is.
Again, hit a couple more, hover, get some numbers. It's always nice to see the numbers. Oh, I slipped a little bit there.
Slip. Even the slip's good though.
There we go.
Draw.
That was like a Rory McIlroy slip.
High draw, let's have a look at that. We've got 252 carry, sorry, 258 carry, 114 speed.
Yeah, a little bit high toe, but that's okay. I mean, that was a good.
That's a good miss.
Miss hit, wasn't it? I mean, it's hit the fairway.
Good miss. Yeah, we'll get a couple of slow-mos in here as well, just to show what's going on with this pivot as well.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, when you see the slow-mo, I'm getting ready for this, you're still going to see I'm moving, I'm just moving less.
And for the majority of amateur golfers there, for you watching this, getting behind the golf ball is more of a good thing.
Yes, of course.
Let's say for the better golfer, they don't want to get too much behind it because it brings left into play, where the majority of amateur golfers are trying to really take out the right side of play. So doing what Piers does here is getting behind the golf ball is good. Piers just needs to limit that a little bit.
Yeah. I think this is the one thing I really like for you watching this here is it's a really good exercise to help you turn and keep the club synced in your backswing with your body. I really like that. Good sequence.
Okay, 2 out of 2, Pierce. That's 2
out
fairways.
Of 2. All right, here we go.
3 out of 3. Nice little power. That's just dead straight, actually.
Yeah, that's nice. A little cut, maybe.
Okay, let's have a little look
1
at this.
yard cut.
The speed's ramping up to 65 and then 114. Nice.
Just take a long time for me to get warmed up. I've had these conversations with Andy.
Okay, let's get to the second thing then, Pierce.
Okay, so the second thing. Now this is the one where I actually think this could really be helpful to a lot of you and I. If I did 5 lessons in a day, I'd say 3 of the golfers I'm coaching, I'm probably going to talk about this. Because we all on the golf course, we get anxious. You know, when you've got crap everywhere like we have on the 4th here, you get a little bit anxious and maybe you want to either rush the downswing or you want to, you know, you're just trying to hit it maybe a little bit harder, whatever it is, even trying to guide it. We can start to do it by actually getting to the top, and we'll talk about transition. So the transition is the bit between the backswing and the downswing. So the transition here actually being a little bit aggressive with the upper body and the arms. So what I tend to do is I tend to get these arms, pulling them down quite aggressively without letting my body to go first, if that makes sense. So when I get this shot and I'm backing up as well, you can see the face there is miles open, or as a counterbalance, it can go to the left. So right and left would very much be in play.
Just to clear it up for the guys, what's the correct order for the downswing?
From the ground up. So if we were to think from the ground up, that's the order. And we always like to talk about like a relay race. So you get to the top of the backswing, you go into your transition, the whistle goes, the bang of the gun goes, and the lower body goes first. Then the torso follows, then the arm, the hand and the club. And hopefully that gives you the maximum speed because it's a good sequence in your downswing by starting from the ground up.
So your arms tend to go a little early. I always remember one good driving round you had in Doral in Florida.
Yeah.
And your thought was, I'm delaying the arms.
It was, yeah.
You're like, I'm just going to delay those arms.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that you're going back to something that's worked in the past.
Yeah, hey, do you know what? Keep a diary. If something works for you, if you try something and it works, guess what? Write it down and always go back to that because it probably will work again.
So how are you feeling? Let's talk us through this.
So all I'm going to do is, it feels to me as though my upper body, my arms are in slow motion. So it feels as though my body's going, and it's not like I'm being very aggressive. I'm just feeling that my arms are just almost feeling quite, just very much delayed, almost like they're heavy, and then it's just they're being pulled down for the ride by the upper body. So I'll hit some and I'll just describe that a little bit more as I do this.
Okay. Well, you did 3 out of 3 fairways.
3 out of 3. But I think if you think about anyone who's coming over the top who's dominant with their upper body, you should do this. And hitting 50% speed shots is a good place to start with this as well. Bit at the bottom.
The bottom, but again, fairway, nice.
Yeah.
These have all been.
I mean, they're all within like a 10-yard area
yard,
as well.
Yeah, 10-yard radius. So a bit off the bottom on that one, not your longest because of that. Would have been high spin, 3,000 spin, 237. Yeah, a little bit lower speed.
Yeah.
So you're just feeling those arms. They aren't really coming down too early, are they? Just being delayed.
Just being delayed. Think about it. If there's 4 runners in a relay race, this is my 3rd runner. It's like when off goes the gun, the 3rd runner starts running. Well, that wouldn't work. It would disqualify the team. So make sure it runs in sequence. Take your time. Be patient in your downswing. Be patient. That's one of the key things that I say to myself, Piers. Just be patient.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. Get in the same spot. A little bit spinny, that one.
That was a high spinner, that one. You haven't hit a bunker yet either, Piers.
Oh. Can we stop? Can we stop? Again, patience, patience, patience. Be patient.
Oh,
I missed the first one.
It's in the hazard.
Oh.
It's in the hazard. We should have stopped. We should have stopped.
Yeah, that would have been good to get them all in. What the speed's been, about 113, 112?
Yeah, what do you think that one was?
I think it's about 112.
112 and a half, yeah.
So this is the thing, the interesting thing. I'm going to do one now that feels really slow, really smooth in transition. Let's see what actually the club head speed
What
drops to.
percentage speed are you going to feel? We did this test and it was
70
amazing.
to 65 to 70.
Okay.
Nice, a little bit
Yeah,
turning
good flight.
over a little bit. But what's the speed on that? That
flight.
felt really
115.
soft.
115.
So actually that's the longest one.
That's the fastest.
That's the fastest one. That's really weird because that'll freak you out to start with. 115.
So
Was
you
it really
felt-
115?
Yeah, so you felt that was slower.
That felt that slower, yeah.
But because, and this is sometimes happens, you know, feeling that you're a little slower helps you sequence things up a little bit better. And when you're sequencing things up a bit better, your speed can increase because you're getting the maximum out of it. Okay, let's hit one more then.
One more. All right, let's go even slower then. It's just a bit spinny, isn't it?
Yeah, left out right, slightly open face. Fairway though, yeah, it's catching a piece of the
of course
fairway.
it's a fairway. Another one. Speed?
Speed 114.3.
Yeah, so again, probably better than it was before. All right, so let's recap that. So hovering the club allows for a better pivot. And then the second thing is a smoother transition actually uses the ground better and could even get you more yardage as well as more fairways.
There we go. Guys, hope that was useful. Make sure you leave any comments and questions down below on that. And also don't forget to take advantage of the Black Friday. You've got one more day left to get 50% off all our coaching plans and 20% off our training aids. Don't miss out. Click the link down there and we'll see you again soon.